Hey gang, in today's video, let's go over how to start setting money aside for your emergency fund, which is not as fancy as it sounds. Think of your emergency fund as a holding area for cash that you only use in the event of, well, an emergency. And not necessarily just life or death stuff, okay? Think of a financial emergency as anything that pops up unexpectedly, urgently, meaning you can't pay for it later without causing real havoc in your life, and unavoidable or necessary. So that can include literal medical emergencies, but it can also mean unexpectedly losing your job or an unexpected repair that has to happen to your home or vehicle, or something happens with your current living situation and you need to get out right away. The idea here is that you want the cushion that extra money in the bank provides in case anything unfortunate like this crops up. Because when you don't have that cushion, you're either not affording something that's pretty important to your well being, or you have no other choice but to go into some kind of debt. And gang, debt is expensive these days. But the only thing that feels worse than the debt you choose to take on, for fun stuff like clothes or a new house, is the debt you have no other choice but to take on. And for some of us, this can literally be the difference between financial stability and sliding into poverty. So if you've never given an emergency fund a second thought before this video, here's what it takes to get one going. First of all, understand what you can afford to put to the side. That means knowing what you bring in each month, what you spend, and what you're left with in your bank account. That last one, by the way, your monthly net, is important because that will tell you what money you have left at all to give. And quite simply, if you spend more than you make every single month, then it will be physically impossible to build any cushion at all. So if you're starting from zero, figure out the answer to that net question. Because if your net is in the red, meaning you spend more than you make, then you have to either find ways to cut back each month or to up your income. So for more info on how to do this, you can check out the linked video on beginning to track your expenses. Okay, now from there, set a monthly savings goal. Depending on how much your net is normally and the wiggle room you have, set a goal for how much money you can put aside each month. If your net isn't very large, meaning you're spending about as much as you make, then the amount you can put away will be on the lower end, and that's totally okay. Gang, building a financial cushion is something that often takes time, and small savings each month is always much better than saving nothing at all. But if you're working with a pretty large monthly net, then that gives you a wide net, no pun intended, to put as much as you'd like away. Which brings us to the next item, which is set a target goal for your emergency fund. Now, how much you decide to put away is entirely up to you. Many people advise that it's good to target 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. However, let me just caveat that by reminding you that some savings is still better than none at all, gang. So if you know it'll take you a long time just to save up even 1 month's worth of expenses, don't let that be the thing that stops you from getting started. And remember, this number can be whatever you want. So if 3 to 6 months doesn't sound like enough cushion, especially in this economy, then no worries. Aim for the amount that feels right to you, again, in the event of an unexpected emergency. Up next is have a dedicated place to save that money. Now, this isn't a hard requirement, but generally speaking, if you keep your savings in the same account as your checkings, you're going to have a harder time keeping those two pools of cash separate. So to the extent that it doesn't cost you anything, consider opening a dedicated savings account, one with no fees and possibly even competitive interest rates, as long as you can access your money quickly and easily if needed. And finally, gang, perhaps the most important part of this video for actually gaining momentum is to try to contribute regularly. Remember that monthly savings goal you set up in step 2? Well, try to get in a groove of transferring that amount or whatever is feasible for you that month, each and every month until you hit your savings goal. If your situation allows, you can even set up the transfer to your dedicated savings account automatically from your checking account. so that you don't even have to think about it. Okay, gang, I hope this video provided a helpful outline for how to start thinking about building your emergency fund today. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And for more tips, be sure to subscribe. Thanks.